Hey guys, this video is going to be shot in the dark. Luckily I have this floodlight here. I'm going to show you how to change your inner and outers for your tie rod ends. Well, inner tie rod, outer tie rod end. But first thing you're going to want if you're changing the inners is this inner tie rod tool. You can get other ways without having that tool, but it's much harder, and I've never even tried it. So, but you can rent this. You can rent this at like AutoZone, or I don't know who else does it. But as long as you return it, you get your money back. So probably not going to use this tool a lot. For most people, you're going to want to do that. So let's get to it. First thing we're going to want to do, which I've already done, is take this pin out. Then, if you don't know what that pin is, sorry, there's a little hole right here that most likely that your car is going to have that, and the pin goes through there. And then you're going to want to break this loose, which I already did. It's not supposed to be that loose, trust me. But that's just easier to do that before you take this off. Then you're going to want to get your ratchet or drive and loosen this up. Be careful if you're wanting to do your inner tie rod and not damage this outer one right here. You're going to have to be careful when you're turning this, because you could spin that bearing loose and cause all kinds of damage to it. So I'm going to pause this to do that, so be right back. Alright, so let's get that broken loose. Go ahead and spin that off. I do apologize that I have to do this with one hand. Keep pausing my video, but I keep forgetting to get that stand, because the one that I broke is for sure out of commission forever, so I gotta get a new one. Anyway, the next thing you're going to want to do is get a pickle fork. You put that in there, then you take your hammer right here and you hit the end of this until it's in there pretty well, and then you can bust it loose and take that out of there. One thing, you're definitely going to want to do that if you're trying to save this. Be careful, because it will squeeze out all that grease in there and do a heck of a lot of damage if you're not careful. If you're not wanting to keep it, you can just take your hammer, sorry guys, and hit the bottom of this, and it'll pop it right out. You don't want to do that though if you're trying to keep that, because it'll mess up the threads and mess up the end, and you probably can't get that bolt back on. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, now we got that off. Right here, here's the important part. When you spin, you're going to want to spin this off, but when you spin it off, count your turns. It's very important, because you're going to want to know how many times to spin that back on until you can get it to an alignment shop. That's the best thing you can do. If you're knowledgeable, you can align your car yourself. There's little tricks to it, but yeah, I'd say after this you're definitely going to want to take your car to the alignment shop. So we can just leave this. Well, let's just spin it off. Alright, so we're going to see this one. It's so hard to put in hand. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 15 and a half turns. hope I counted that right. 15.5 turns. So now you can go ahead and take this up. Okay. Now, a set of pliers. Needle nose work perfect for this. If that's all you got, then don't worry. I'm gonna grab that clamp. I don't know if I got that, but you grab this clamp, pull it right off. Okay. And then you're gonna want to spray some WD-40 or something under that. If you don't got any, don't worry. You can just pry it up, pry it loose. After you do that, this is going to be hard for me. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it. Do you see? I'm sorry. That right there, that little thing sticking out back there, that's a clamp. And what you need to do is take your plier, your screwdriver, and I cannot fit my hand in there at the same time and get a good shot for you guys. But basically, you want to take it and spin it. So put your screwdriver under there and you spin it. And then that'll break the clamp loose. That's a one-time clamp. So you are going to want to make sure you have either a zip tie or one of these, like hose clamps, but the ones that you can spin to tighten. I feel that's better than what they got on there to begin with, so this is what I had on the other side. If you saw my other video, I put one of these on. But yeah, so I'm going to do this and show you what it looks like. So, once you have the boot off, see this is all, it spins and moves pretty bad. But once you get this boot off, this boot, right here, you have to find in these tools the right one. To do that, you simply take one of them that you feel is the right size. There's a little lip back there that you hook onto, and you gotta put it on there. And then I'm gonna try to get this in for you guys because I know this is the important part and you want to see how it's done. So on this, there's this locking mechanism. So what you want to do is put this in here over this and get those little corners, those protruding parts, to go into here, and then you lock it, and then you can break it loose by turning it. So I'm going to try to get this in here, or you know what, I'll show you here, and then I'll show you on the new one. Might be easier. So see if I can do this with one hand. I'm pushing it off. So I think you guys got the gist of how to do that. I'm gonna come back in just a second. All right. So once you get that in there, make sure you lock this in place. It's a little hard to do, but you'll manage it. I believe in you. You're gonna want to put a breaker bar on the end of this. So here, maybe I have a socket on there. Sorry about the shakiness right there, guys. Let's put your breaker bar on there, and oh man, it's just so not easy. Sorry guys, it's probably annoying trying to see me. I'm just trying to get a good visual for you guys on how to do this. Oh man. So, yep, it's fell off. Well, it didn't fall off, I just need to pull it back. It's not in place. There we go, it's in place now. So you're gonna wanna break that loose by pushing this way. This way. I don't think I can get this holding this camera, so I'll be right back right after I break it. Alright, so I've got it broke loose, so now I can just, oh, this is a little harder than I thought. Alright, so once you get it broke loose, just keep pulling back on it. And, hold on guys. I apologize again, this isn't so easy, but eventually it'll come to a point where you can turn it by hand. So, just turning it until that happens. As you can see, it's off, and then you unlock that right there. Pull this out. There it is. There it is, guys. Oh, hey, look, a little bug crawling along here. Almost smashed him. Oh. So, now what you're gonna do, sorry I didn't have it by me, let's get your new, mine are cheap, your new inner tie rod. This could be an unboxing video. And for this, you can do one of two things. You can just trust that what you torque it to, which I forgot, it's like 70 foot-pounds or something, I think, I don't remember, but you can torque it and trust that that's going to work, or you can use some of this Loctite here. Just make sure it's the blue, Loctite blue. It's the threading Loctite blue. Put a little bit of that on there, not too much, and because if it's the red stuff, you're never getting that back off. But this blue, it breaks, I think, with 100 foot-pounds, so you could get that back off pretty good. But yeah, it's your choice whether or not you want to do this. You can trust us going to or not. I put a little bit in there, and now we're going to just well, my apologies. First, we are going to compare the length of the two, because it is very important if one is longer than the other, and you thread it so many times, and it's just not good. So the best way to do this is to put them both standing up like so. If I can get this to stand up. There we go. And see that they are the exact same length. So we don't have to worry about that. But what you do is you count the difference in threads, or you measure the difference in threads. And add or subtract accordingly. Just a little tip there. Some people don't care that much, but me, I do. So, yeah, we can get going now. Sorry about that. So we just put the other one back in, with or without your Loctite. Once you got it hand tight, you put your little thing back on there just like you did when you were taking it off, and we torque it down. So I'm going to skip to that part because you guys, I have faith in you. Alright, so we got it on. Make sure it's pulled back, locked in place. Came a little loose. But we're gonna torque it. I just have this needle torque, but I'm just gonna make sure the torque's right on it. Look this up. I'm sorry guys, a little misinformation there, but look this up. I'd say 70 pounds is more than enough. I don't think you're gonna over tighten this, so if you feel safer, just tighten it over, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But I can't do this while I'm recording, so I'll be right back. Alright, so now that you have torqued your tie rod in, this part's a little different. You have to unlock it and then pull it out. And then grab it, and there you have it. It's in, it's torqued, nice and tight. Now, I'm going to reuse my outer tie rod, so I don't have to measure up, but you're going to want to make sure your other outer tie rod is about the same size as the one you just took off. Otherwise, you're going to have to measure and do some calculations if you want it to be still aligned. Just screw that on as many times as you took it off. So, get it on there, just barely. So that's a half a turn. Remember we said 15 and a half, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 15. Thread your bolt back this way. Put this right back in here. There we are. Now, what you're gonna want to do is take your 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter, stick it on there, hold it, take your other one, and tighten it up. Pretty tight. This needs to be pretty tight, so make sure you get it good and tight. Just try not to mess up the alignment right here, and just tighten this up. If anyone is following along on their phone, I apologize. You gotta put your boot back on. Sorry guys, it's been a long night. Alright, so to get your boot back on, simply push it up there, get it over that little lip that you took it off of. And push this up until it slips into place. There's a little lip right here too. And put your clamp on. Sorry about that, guys. Skip ahead to, and don't forget to put your little clamp back on. So pretty much that's it. Screw this back on, put it back in place, make sure it's all real tight, and put your castle nut back on and put that cotter pin back through. That's pretty much it. I'm sorry guys, my phone is about to die. But I think I helped you guys out if I didn't totally just piss you off that last little part. I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to finish this up, and I will see you guys later. I hope this helped. Hope you all have a wonderful day.